Hey guys, how is everybody doing? And welcome to my very late ranking of all April 2024 movies ranked. Now, this is a monthly ranking that I do every month to where all the movies that I watched in the month of April, every new release that came out that month, ones that I watched, I will talk about them and rank them all from worst to best lately. I'm late to this one because first time I tried to do it, technical issues and my lights decided to die on me while I was filming on it, so the video quality was shit, and the editing would have been a pain in the ass, so I just discarded it, and now I'm gonna redo it. And I also was busy with my Planet of the Apes review series, so I wouldn't have time to make this video. But I finally found time at like 8:30 at night, because I have nothing else to do in my life. So yeah. Anyway, so I watched a total of 8 movies this month. Now I watched the same amount of movies in March, so they're not any better, but just the same. So maybe that's a surprise to people. Like, wow, you watched 8 movies in the theater, but there's like maybe 2 movies on here that I watched were streaming movies. I could be mistaken though. But yeah, so when it comes to April, I don't think there's a bad month. This was a bad month for movies. I honestly feel every movie on this list was quite good, actually. No, even my number 8, which is the bottom of my list, I still believe that's still a good movie, and that is a movie I could see myself rewatching once in a while. But yeah, overall, April, good month for movies for me, because I did not watch Rebel Moon. We were supposed to get the true version in summer, so I never watched it, so you won't see it on this list. But yeah, overall, I believe it was a decent month for movies, and I don't think there's a bad movie on here. But anyways, enough stalling. Here's my ranking of all 8 movies that I watched in the month of April 2024. Coming in at number 8 is going to be a Shudder original that is called Infested. Now, to be honest, I only watched this movie because the director of this movie is set to direct the upcoming Evil Dead spinoff. So I saw his name on this. I'm like, oh, that's the name of the guy that's doing the Evil Dead spinoff. So I saw that he had his theatrical debut with a movie called Infested, which I believe premiered in the Overlook Film Festival earlier this year and then it came out on Shudder early on this month. So I decided to check it out. Heard nothing about it, knew nothing about it. All I knew was the director's name. And this movie's weird. This movie's about a spider, killer spiders. So you get this guy who's basically obsessed with reptiles and like spiders, stuff like that. Anything like reptile or spider related animals. He's fascinated with them. His whole room is just just dedicated to that shit. It's weird. And so throughout this movie, he buys this spider at a pawn shop, basically, but which he knows nothing about. He just sees the spider, is like, "Ooh, gimme!" And he gives this guy like $50. So he keeps the spider. He brings it to his apartment. He puts it in a shoebox. While he's preparing for its new home. But over time, the spider gets out of that box, starts spider webs throughout this house, starts to lay eggs, and slowly takes over this apartment. And then these characters of this movie basically know that they're all fucked. They all realize that they're all in a bad situation, and this whole apartment slowly gets taken over by spiders, and the spiders slowly start to bite and start to kill people. So I have a bad fear of spiders. Every time I see a spider, I freak out. And this movie really tested my fear for spiders, because holy shit, this movie scared the shit out of me, because I hate spiders. The entire time I was watching this, when a spider would crawl on somebody, I'd be like, ew. Just thinking about it makes me freak out. God, I hate spiders. If you want to test your fear for spiders, watch the movie, I guess, because uh, the only reason that this movie's really last is I didn't really care for any of the characters. None of these characters I felt interesting except for the main character that had a fascination with weird insects and all that. He was the only character that was given somewhat a backstory. And his sister is dating a douchebag. And then the sister's boyfriend's douchebag friend is over there as well. You know nothing about them. And, yeah, that's really it that I just really didn't care for. And also, this movie is a French film because the director is a French filmmaker. This movie had subtitles the entire time to where it's like a Korean film to where it's not dubbed with English, it's just French subtitles. That kind of killed my experience because I'd rather not read what the characters are saying, I'd rather hear it. But yeah, that those were the only things that really bothered me, and the practical effects in this movie were awesome. Like the bumps and the infection going on the people's bodies when after they get bit by this very deadly spider. It was awesome looking. But yeah, Infested, I really enjoyed it. If you want to test your spirit for spiders, this is the movie for you, because probably won't watch it again because of that reason. Coming in at number 7 is going to be Monkey Man. This is a new action thriller movie directed by Dave Patel, who's also the star of the movie. So basically, what the movie is, you get Dave Patel's character who grows up with this weird religion. He's told all about this Monkey Man. He is told about the bad of their government. And then one day, basically, the ruler of this territory, he hires a bunch of men. They go to his territory. They basically kill everybody that is in his home and in his whole land, and they take it over. His mother is killed by these people, and throughout he has to grow up with that trauma. And through ever since he was a kid, he has basically been planning to kill these people, and he gets money by wrestling by wearing a monkey mask, and he's basically paid to throw the matches, from what I remember. And throughout the movie, he slowly starts to get into the crime business to get closer to these people. And then slowly he starts to get closer to the man that ended up murdering his mother. And then he starts to fuck some people up. Yeah, it's a very generic plot, but the movie is basically saved by its action, because the action in the movie is awesome. It's a very generic story, but the action pays up for it, because the action is amazing in this movie. It's very greatly choreographed, and Dave Patel's commitment to this movie is amazing, because I saw an interview for this movie back when it was first releasing in the back on April 5th. I saw an interview with Dave Patel talking about how he ended up like breaking his wrist and his ankle during one shot during the movie. That's commitment, and you know that this guy really wanted to make an action movie. Other than like the generic plot, the other thing that really killed my experience with the movie, which is kind of unfortunate, is this movie really focuses on like Indian culture and Indian religion. Now, I know really nothing about that. I know jack shit basically about it. And I do believe Dave Patel, the director and star of the movie, is Indian, I believe. I could be mistaken. Please correct me what it's actually called. I say Indian because that's basically what it is. And so it really focuses on that. Like, it talks about like certain religions, and it talks about certain things that I just don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, I've seen some people, excuse me, I've seen some people on like Twitter who have been saying like they really enjoyed this movie, and they're great that it great that it had social commentary. And I was like, what social commentary? What the fuck are you talking about? But I'm assuming it's talking about like the religious stuff and the Indian territory things that it's talking about. Again, I know nothing about that. I don't know anything about that. That is not my religion. That is not the people that I've ever been around with. So I really don't know any of that. So I'm proud that Dave Patel put that in his movie, and I'm glad that he put that to screen. But it just killed my experience, because I know nothing about that, because there are people talking about certain things in this movie that I just truly don't understand. But yeah, I, I really admired the dedication with Dave Patel and him putting that in the movie. But yeah, other than that, I do like the main character that is played by Dave Patel, and I really love the action. I'm a simple boy, really. If I see an action movie, if I see guns fired, if I see people punching each other, I'll be in your theater. Coming in at number 6 is going to be a very divisive film of the year, and that is Civil War. Now, to be honest, I really did not have any excitement, or really anything like any excitement for this movie when it was coming out, because I heard people praising to see this movie. People so excited to see this movie. Back when I was doing my most anticipated list of the beginning of the year, because I wanted to know what movies were really coming out before, after I looked up some movies. And one movie that I saw on a lot of lists was Civil War. I know nothing about that. I did not know that this movie was even coming out. So I didn't know anything. I did not watch a trailer. I did not watch anything. The only thing that I knew is that this was A24's most expensive film. This is the most expensive film that they've ever made, and it paid off because it made their budget back. But that was the only thing that I knew walking into this movie. Going into this movie, I didn't know much about, so what did I think after walking out of the theater? The thing that really hovered above me and the thing that was in my soul in a way, that was in my body when I was walking out, I was like, I liked that, but I needed more from the movie. I needed more explanation because basically what you're given, shitty government, shitty president, this part of America and this part of America don't like each other, and so they're at war. For what reason? They don't tell you. And at the end of the movie, it's like, well, where does it go from here? Like, what the fuck happened? Like, I just needed more. Like, I just needed more explanation, and it just really killed me because it's like, well, why are these people at war? Why are we killing each other? Why do you want to kill the president? Did he like order all this? Did he order like missile strikes? Well, actually, they said that, but it's like, can we need more explanation why? Can we have more character development maybe? But like Kristen Dunst, who is the main actress of this movie, who I mostly know as MJ from the Sam Raimi trilogy, I thought she was great in this movie. She's great. She's great in like everything I've seen her in besides Spider-Man. And I really enjoy her in this movie. She's a pretty good character, very interesting character. But again, when she dies, like, not to spoil it, but when people die in this movie, there's like really no emotion, like at all. Like people, like there's like the press, like taking pictures of the war. People dead on the floor, they'll take pictures of it. It's like none of these people give a fuck. Like when their own friend dies, they just take a picture. It's like, well, emotions, please. Coming in at number 5 is going to be The First Omen. Probably the biggest surprise for me this entire year. Now, I did review the Omen review series back when this movie was coming out. I'll probably have a card up here or maybe a card at the end. Who knows what I'll end up doing. But yeah, God, brain fart. Like, leading up to this movie, I had no expectations whatsoever. I saw the trailers of this movie, I tried to stay away from them, and I mostly did. I didn't really catch much of the trailers. I only saw, like, maybe, like a single clip of the trailer. So I was basically blind walking in. I heard the announcement about this movie maybe back in October of last year, and I was like, why do we need a prequel to the original Omen? I like that original Omen is like a near perfect movie for me. I truly adore that movie. It's like, why would you fuck that movie up? Why would you give me explanations I don't care for? Why would you give me explanations that I'm not looking for? That is every prequel. I have never liked prequels. I've never been a guy for prequels. It's like remakes. Every time they announce one, I groan. It's like no one wants this. We don't need explanations. So I was excited to watch the original Omen once again. So leading up to this movie, I just the entire time was like, this movie's gonna be bad. And this was my birthday movie, so I was hoping it would be good. So I was going to the movie, and the once I walked out, I went, "Holy shit! Is that the best Omens movie since the original film? Like, am I on crack? Like, the fuck? Did I just seriously just say that?" I was blown away how much I truly enjoyed this movie. What I like about this movie, and what every prequel should do, is don't tell too much to the audience. Like, make this movie a prequel, like this movie's like set like 1 or 2 years before the original Omen movie, and it gives you the setup, but you kind of forget it's an Omen movie, and you kind of forget that this is a setup for Damien's story because it tells this whole different story, and it tells this whole different thing before Damien was ever born. And I love that. That is what a prequel should do. That is what every prequel should do. But however, still like talking about that, this movie just tries to add too many Easter eggs to the lead up of the original Omen. It's like you can just tell they went back and did reshoots for that. It's plainly obvious. You're not hiding anything. But yeah, the first Omen, one of the biggest surprises for me this year, and I'm gonna be surprised if I watch another movie this year that truly surprises me because so far this is my most surprising movie of the year because I'm glad I enjoyed this movie and I'm glad for it, but there was like setup for a sequel and there was talks for a sequel to this movie. It's like, don't fuck it up because there's no more to tell. Leave it where you ended it. Like, stop it. Bad Disney. Coming in at number 4 is a movie that technically did come out last month in select theaters, excuse me. It came out in select theaters last month, not last month, in March technically. And this movie didn't get its full release to everybody until April 19th, and that is Late Night with the Devil. So, yeah, this movie got a select theater release back in March and also premiered last March in South by Southwest. South by Southwest. Sound like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson. Last year at South by Southwest West, keep having a wisp, in 2023 in March, and there was a lot of buzz coming out from that. A lot of people are praising this movie. Now, I saw a buzz from it on Twitter. I need to delete Twitter one day. Jesus Christ, I'm on that app too much. I was on Twitter and I saw a lot of buzz for this movie, maybe back in like March, even, maybe February. I don't know what I saw, but I saw buzz for this movie. I was like, well, why? Like, why? It was like, it it doesn't even look that good. I watched the trailer. I was like, yeah, that doesn't look very good. But I try to keep an open mind, and the idea of the movie is what had me intrigued. Is that a 1970s like a talk show with supernatural like things happening is what had me intrigued with the film. So, back when it had its select theater release and back in March, more buzz came out. People saying that it was actually pretty good and they enjoyed it. So I was more intrigued to watch it back in April. And I'll be damned, I really enjoyed it to where I really enjoyed this movie. Now, the only thing that really bothered me about the movie was that this movie does a great job at making you feel that this is an actual 70s talk show. Like the set pieces, the type of filming that they do to make it feel like 70s, outfit wise, commentary wise, even. Like this movie really sells you that it's a 70s talk show. The only time that it takes you out of that is when it goes to a commercial break and it brings you to behind the scenes and it's in black and white and you see everything behind the scenes. And it kind of ruins that to where I don't like commercials, but maybe do like a fun thing to where you have like old 70s like commercials in a way, because I would have really enjoyed that because it really took me out of the experience when they would go to this black and white like type font and shows me the behind the scenes. Like I didn't like that, and I didn't like that they did that. And the ending, I've always said that endings can either make or break a movie, and this movie kind of breaks it because this ending to this movie is very confusing and it's weird. And I won't spoil it, but the ending of this movie is weird. And it kind of broke the movie. But other than that, this movie was really enjoyable, and it was a big surprise for me because I didn't expect to really like this movie, and I didn't understand the buzz for it at the time. But I do enjoy it, and it is a movie I do want to rewatch one day. This is a movie I kind of want to rewatch with, like, my dad, maybe, because I think he might enjoy this movie, or maybe, like, my cousin. I don't know. I want to watch this movie with somebody because I think they might like it. But yeah, Late Night with the Devil, one of the big surprise of the year, and it was pretty enjoyable. So coming in at number three. Now, I don't usually talk about documentaries on my channel. I never really bother to check out documentaries, and it's never been a thing that I really liked. But this is a movie and a documentary that I've wanted to. Oh my god, my throat! This is a movie that I really needed to watch, and it is a movie that really emotionally hit me. So coming in at number three is going to be Bray Wyatt becomes immortal, or becoming immortal. Now, I am a big WWE fan. I've talked about it numerous times, and one of the things that really got me into the WWE back in 2019, yeah, not the greatest era of WWE, was Bray Wyatt as the character of The Fiend. I have his mask right there, and his gloves above that. I don't know if you can see the gloves, but you can definitely see the mask. I'm a huge Fiend fan. I grew up with that, and what I loved about that is that he brought horror into the WWE, and I loved that. And when I heard that Bray Wyatt unfortunately passed away in August, it broke me. It truly did, and I was emotionally damaged by his passing. And it really did break me because it was sad to see, and it was like, well, this guy had so many great ideas, and it was unfortunate. And then I heard that they were making a documentary on the great Bray Wyatt, and I needed to watch the movie. And so I watched it on Peacock a few weeks later because I didn't watch it the day it came out because I was busy then. But this movie is emotionally triggering. And now, it's hard to talk about a documentary, but things I will say is that this movie pays great tribute to the late great Bray Wyatt, who had a brilliant mind and who I would love to see. And they're teasing Bo Dallas coming back in WWE, which I'm very excited to see if he does come back. So that's the one thing I will say. It pays great tribute to Bray Wyatt, and it truly makes you go into the mind of Bray Wyatt and behind the scenes of Bray Wyatt, to where you get to see the creation of Bo Dallas, the Fiend, and this basically like cult leader Bray Wyatt when he was first beginning. That is all I will say, and that's all I can really talk about a documentary. Emotionally driven, and a great tribute to the late great Bray Wyatt. Rest in peace. Coming in at number 2 is a movie that I'm so glad was as awesome as it was. Abigail. I am a huge vampire fan. I grew up with vampire movies, especially movies like The Lost Boys, From Dusk Till Dawn, Fright Night. Just to name a few, I fucking love vampires. And ever since Twilight decided to come around and ruin everything, the vampire subgenre has been dead for me, because you got movies like The Invitation. But slowly throughout the years, the vampire subgenre slowly decided to come back, because last year got Renfield and The Last Voyage of Demeter, and now this year, we finally know that the vampire subgenre is back for blood with Abigail. Abigail was such a good time. From the characters, to the set of this mansion like haunted house, to the amazing practical effects and the amazing blood, gore effects. That is what a vampire movie needs. Gore and blood. Not some stupid girl kissing a vampire and kissing a werewolf. Blood. Blood. And the characters, they were so enjoyable. Melissa Barrera, she was amazing in this movie. I truly loved her in this movie. Abigail, when does that movie come out on Blu-ray? I need to watch it again, because, God, I loved it. And I hate to see that this movie flopped at the box office. And I honestly believe that it was because of the advertising, because the advertising for this movie was basically showing you the entire movie. The first trailer, I did not watch it because I was like, nope, you're showing me too much, get out of here. But everybody else is like, oh, that movie looks good, but I'm not going to watch it, because it's a shame that that this movie didn't make its money back, because I loved this movie so much that I wanted a sequel. But now we won't get it, because people are assholes and believe that there's no more original ideas in Hollywood, that when we fucking give it to you, you don't watch it. Coming in at my number 1, my favorite movie of April 2024 was Challengers. Now, I've recently talked about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes on my channel. I've recently watched it, and that is my favorite movie of the year. But goddamn it, is Challengers a close second, because oh my god, I love this movie. Now, not because of the reason you might think, that's not what the trailers really meant to show you, because spoiler alert, the famous moment of the trailer, it's like a 5-second scene in the movie. I'll just tell you that. But yeah, Challengers, man. I'm not a big tennis guy, but after watching this movie, I might watch some more tennis. I don't know if that's a good thing to say, but this movie was awesome, to where all 3 of these actors were awesome in this movie. Zendaya, she better be nominated for Best Actress this year, and she better win, because she was awesome. My fucking throat hurts today. She was awesome in this movie, and the 2 supporting actors, the 2 best friends, they were amazing in this movie. They better get nominated as well. And what I love about the movie is that it has a great theme of obsession and love. I love that about the movie, to where it really shows you the obsession of these 2 characters that are in love with Zendaya's character, to where she's kind of manipulating them. And even in the movie, she goes, "I'm not a homewrecker," but at the same time, she kind of is, because she's kind of fucked up their relationship. She's fucked up their friendship. And this movie plays a good part of love and obsession with one girl, and this movie does have good social commentary of like what one girl could possibly do to a boy's friendship, to where 2 guys who like the same girl, to what it can do to their friendship. And I really enjoy that. And the only tiny little negative that I have about this movie is that you kind of forget that Zendaya and and her husband have a daughter, and their family stuff going on. I kind of forgot about that. And when they would bring it up, it's like, oh yeah, you have a daughter. I kind of forgot about that. But either way, Challengers, amazing movie, awesome movie. If you have not watched it, please do yourself a favor and watch it whenever it decides to come out on VOD, or if it's playing in a theater near you, go watch it right now, and when it comes out on Blu-ray, buy it and watch it, because it's fucking awesome. Thank you all so much for watching my ranking of all eight April movies that I watched during that month. What movies did you watch during the month of April? Let me know in the comments below, and you can rank them from worst to best if you wish, if you watched enough movies then. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you like this video, like it. If you love it, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you will get notified for all of my latest videos. And of course, until my next video, I'll see you all next time.